I mentioned Tom Brady. Peyton Manning and Tom Brady both had lists at the Fanatics Fan Fest, and they just said a top 5. I don't think that they were – Tom, I think, picked the top 5, but Peyton wouldn't pick it. Which one should we start with here, we think? Start with Peyton?
Yeah.
Start with Peyton Manning. He just asked about who would be in his top 5 in no particular order. We already are going to go past the Patrick Mahomes because everyone has him in there. So listen to Peyton Manning on the other 4 quarterbacks he truly loves.
How about even have to rank? Just the games. Look, I'm a big fan of Joe Burrow. I'm glad to see him. I'm glad to see him back healthy. Right? I like the way he carries himself. I like his demeanor out there. He doesn't sweat. He doesn't flinch. Right? He's just kind of calm and cool the whole time. This Justin Herbert is as talented as anybody. He can throw it out. He can throw it out. Harbaugh, like I said, the Broncos division is going to be tough. I mean, Lamar Jackson does things that just don't seem possible with the football in his hand. He makes throws, he runs, and he's smart about, he protects himself too, right? I mean, look, I never could run, so I never had that problem, right? But the thing we were talking about earlier, quarterbacks, that like to run, you still got to find a way to get out of bounds or get down and be there on the next play, right? If you get hurt, I mean, look, defenses, if the quarterback, gets hurt, they're probably going to win that game. Right. So I love the way Lamar carries himself. I think he'll have a great year this year. One more. I mean, this is like I said, Josh Allen is total stuff. Tough. Like I saw him this summer. I mean, he is so motivated to bring in a championship to Buffalo.
So right there, cool with that. And also Peyton Manning played football at the highest level. People were jabbing Peyton Manning all those years because the Colts weren't winning in the playoffs. Peyton Manning is one of the best quarterbacks ever played. Now, he did get 2 Super Bowls, one of which was probably his worst season as a pro since he was a rookie, if you want to really look at it that way. So, guys, what was interesting in that list, his love for Justin Herbert. And he's not the only one, but I still think of that list, that was the one name right there. But are we cool with the rest of that list? Are we cool with the other ones involved in that list, or is there someone missing out?
So he did what? I don't know if he was necessarily going in order. So
no, it's not in order. But it's Mahomes, Burrow, Herbert, Lamar, and Josh Allen are the 5 that he listed.
That's probably my top 5 right now.
Should we compare notes and see what Tom Brady has to say?
We shall.
Yeah, so I think consistently, the guys that I see Josh Allen as someone who's always impresses me as a player. I see Lamar Jackson, who always impresses me as a player. Some different guys probably have different moments, but Joe Burrow is very impressive the way he throws on consistency. Again, another guy who's got a great connection with his teammates. And then I think I'll leave it at those 4.
I'm going to throw Aaron Rodgers in there.
Oh, of course.
It's one of the greatest field passes I've ever seen. I'm going to throw him in there. The man knows the game inside out.
Okay, so the only one that was really different, and I don't think Tom was naming the top 5 there. I think that guy was just making a list.
Yeah.
So very similar. The only difference was Aaron Rodgers. Is Aaron Rodgers still a top 5 quarterback? We don't know.
If he wants to come back and prove it, then I'll start putting him back on the top 5 list. But how old is he now? We got 40-year-old Aaron Rodgers coming off an Achilles tear. I am not putting in the top 5.
No, I'm not putting him in there either.
Yeah.
No.
So I think if there's one that's outside that list, that he's going to have to prove it this year, but one that I think could just bust the doors down is CJ Stroud. I think Stroud is on the cusp of that.
Yeah.
And if there was one guy between him and Herbert, if that was one I would take out, I think Stroud, and I'm not elevating him to the top 5, but a guy that I think could be in that conversation very soon.
I think he enters it this year.
And I do too. I think he enters it within the first 8 games.
Yeah.
That
I think
dude is legit.
I think he's got a very good chance of winning MVP this year. Actually have a future bet on him. So maybe he doesn't anymore.
But we can't draft any wide receivers in fantasy from that.
No, you can't. Like, do not draft any Texans wide receivers because they have too much talent in too many places, and there's only one football. And I don't know who's going to be the one who scores, and that scares me.
I mean, a guy who could enter this conversation again, I think he's been in it before after his near MVP or a couple of years ago, is Jalen Hurts. But he has to prove that he can be consistent and do it year over year. But he has the talent and the skill set and the weapons around him to put up the numbers that could get him back in that conversation.
I think it's a good point. New offensive coordinator again. Kellen Moore, pride of Boise State, baby.
Yeah.
He is going to be the offensive coordinator, was the former Cowboys and Chargers offensive coordinator.
And so he says, poor Tua is not even relevant anymore. Listen, Tua is a top 4 or 5 quarterback when it is above 75 degrees. And Mike McDaniel has even said it, like, the Dolphins are so good, he's like, until it gets cold. And they just aren't prepared for it. Like, I think we made the joke. I've made the joke before that, like, the Dolphins just need to crank the AC up in their building at all time to where it's uncomfortable. So, like, they just get ready for the cold, because anytime it drops below 50 degrees, that greatest offense we've ever seen that's put up 70 points and stuff, like, it disappears. So until Tua can give us a full 17 games, he's great weeks 1 through 11, but after that, it gets tough.
Yeah, there's certain quarterbacks that all could be in like the top 10 conversation that just need to hit these certain bars, whether it's regular season or postseason.
Yeah, I'm looking at myself. Oh, okay, great. Looking out, Mike. I was trying to say move the mic closer to you, but I was doing it showing.
I should have known, because I have to do that with my guests in Aberdeen a lot with the. I mean, Brad, Zach, and Kevin all know that guest headset. It's a little finicky. You got to mess with it a little bit, but I did not pick up on that Q rip, and I should have.
Well, that's okay. Well, I had the camera right.
Yeah,
on
he actually had it pointed at him, so he hit the thing and then he goes.
Yeah, I was like this doing.
He was giving hand signals and
Yep, that's what it was. It will be a fun way to see it all shape out in the AFC. Can't wait. We got a lot more football conversations we're going to have. Last thing I'll say with that list of quarterbacks now, if we're looking at both, at least with Peyton Manning, because he had Herbert. Lamar, up until the last couple of years, probably fair to say, had the not the strongest supporting cast, as far as when you're looking at Joe Burrow has Jamar Chase, T. Higgins. Patrick Mahomes has Travis Kelce and Andy Reid. But I think what the biggest part of it is that there are a lot of good quarterbacks out there. I think that's just the point I wanted to make. And Lamar is one of those top quarterbacks. It doesn't matter who is on the field. The Ravens have a chance if Lamar is on the field
every time.
And that's the difference to me of a game-changing